All right, in today's video, I'm going to unbox, test, and review the newest version of the Mediasonic Homeworx digital TV converter box with PVR recording function. This is model number HW250, and this set-top box allows you to connect your over-the-air TV antenna and receive free local broadcast TV channels, no subscription needed. This digital TV box was released this year, 2024, and it seems like Mediasonic has made some significant improvements to the design and functionality. And out of the box, here is what you are receiving. The set-top box right here. We'll have a closer look at that in a minute. Remote control, manual with quick start guide to get you up and running. They also include a set of RCA cables for connection to an older television that is standard definition. One thing I like, though, is they actually are including an HDMI cable with this box. With previous versions, they've never included an HDMI cable. That's how most people are going to connect this to a TV, because they want to receive the high definition picture. So it's nice that they finally included this. Hopefully that's because they've listened to customer feedback. The front has a nice array of buttons for volume, channel, menu selection, and power. There's also a slot to plug in a USB drive for PVR recording. Looking at the back of the box, you can see that the power cord is attached, so no power supply to stick out of the wall. There's the RF in, which is where you'll connect your TV antenna to. An RF out is only going to be used if you're connecting this to a really old TV and it doesn't have any RCA or HDMI plugs on it. The HDMI out is for connecting to an HD television. You can also connect it to an older TV using these three plugs on the bottom row. The yellow is video, and the red and white are your right and left audio channels. There's also a coaxial output for digital audio. All right, here are the connections that most people are going to make to connect this to their TV. You're going to connect the cable from your TV antenna to the very first port here, the antenna in port. And then you're going to connect an HDMI cable to the HDMI out here and connect the other end of this to your TV's HDMI in port. And then you can select that input on your TV and you'll have picture and sound. And then just plug in the power cord to an outlet. That's all you need to do to get an HD picture with this digital TV box. See it booting up here. I just plugged it in. That's the boot up screen. Once everything is connected and your antenna is pointed in the direction of the broadcast signals in your area, you're ready to run a channel scan. Simply select your language, country, and then press search. Now in my area, I only get 3 over-the-air channels. Welcome to over-the-air television in Canada. In your area, you'll probably get a lot more. Here's a question I get all the time about this music column. Well, this box does not scan in radio channels like FM radio. That's not what it's for. The music channels are audio-only TV channels, which are only available in some areas. Usually they display on the screen a message that says audio only or a picture of a speaker or something. And if you have any in your area, they'll scan in on this side, but it all depends on the TV market that you're in. When I first ran a channel scan with this box, there was a problem. I ran the channel scan, I was getting no channels though. It wasn't a problem with my antenna, it was a problem with one of the factory settings. Here in the main menu, go to the channel search option and scroll down to signal type. The factory settings had this set to cable. And if it's set to cable, you're not going to get any channels when you run a channel scan, because cable channels are on totally different frequencies from over-the-air channels. Make sure that signal type is set to air, or when you run a channel scan with your antenna, you'll get nothing. Pressing the green TV list button on the remote brings up a list of all of the channels that are scanned in. On the top of the remote control, there's an EPG button, and that will bring up an electronic program guide for the channel you're currently tuned to. It gives you a schedule of upcoming programming, along with a brief description of the programs. If you use the right and left arrow keys, you can toggle to different channels that you currently have in your lineup. But be aware though that not all channels provide EPG program guide information, such as this channel here in my area, TVO. No program guide is provided by the broadcast signal. Pressing the info button twice on the remote control brings up a signal quality meter, as well as a brief description of the current program on the channel that you're tuned to. It also shows you the frequency that the channel is broadcasting on. The signal quality meter can be helpful because you can use it to position your antenna to get the best possible signal. The remote control is a big improvement from previous models. It's much nicer to hold, it's a little bigger, and the buttons are way more responsive. When you press the buttons, there's a definitive click to it, and it works very well the first time. The old remote, you had to kind of mash the buttons down to get them to respond. It works on odd angles as well. Even though I'm really close to the box right now, it's a big improvement from previous versions. Another nice option in the menu is the time settings. You can set the time zone you're in, whether or not you're on daylight savings time. There's a sleep feature here if you want to watch TV for a bit and then have the box turn off. There's also an option to set the time to either 12-hour AM PM time or 24-hour time, whatever one you prefer. I think this is an important menu to pay attention to, especially if you use the PVR Recording Timer feature. If you don't have all this stuff set up correctly, then your recordings are going to happen at the wrong time. That's probably one of the most common reasons why recordings are not happening, because people don't have the time menu set up correct in the box, and that throws everything off. The PVR function turns this converter box into a modern day VCR, except you're not using a cassette tape to record programs on. You're going to use an external USB drive. You can use a USB stick like this or an external hard drive that has even more capacity. That's probably the better option, but this is all I have right now. To make a manual recording, make sure your USB drive is connected and then select the channel you wish to record and simply press record on the remote control, and a timer appears on screen confirming that recording is in progress. When you're done recording, simply press stop and confirm you want to stop the recording, and that program will save. Another way to make a recording is to select the program off of the program guide. Press the EPG button on the remote control, select the channel that you want to record the program on, and then you can scroll down through the list and select the program you wish to record. Press OK to select it, and then just confirm all the details here. And once the details are confirmed, press OK, and that program is added to your recording schedule. One detail you want to watch out for is that the mode is set to record when you're setting the timer. The other option here is view, and this will simply change the channel on the digital box to this program when it comes on the air, but it will not record if it's in view mode. So make sure that the mode is set to record, or your scheduled recording will not happen when you want it to. Another way to record a program is to press the blue timer button on the remote control, and then you can actually add in a program by pressing the 1 key, select the channel you want to record on, and then set the date. You can use the number keys on the remote control to dial in the date and the time. It is a little awkward though, I have to say. 5 p.m. till 0600, and then cycle back around and use the left and right arrow keys to set AM PM. It's a little awkward. And then confirm the frequency of the recording, and again make sure it's in record mode and press OK, and that is saved. Now this might be more useful If you have a channel that does not have an EPG program guide and you have to look it up online, you can look up the information online and then set the specific time and channel you want to record that program on. Making a change to a recording is just as easy. At the bottom of the screen, there's a legend. The number keys 1, 2, and 3 are used to either add, edit, or delete a recording. Let's say I wanted to delete this recording here. I'll just highlight it and then press the number 3 key. And all I have to do is confirm that I want to delete it by pressing OK, and it gets removed from my list. To find and play back your PVR recordings, the fastest way is to press the red USB button on the remote control. It brings you to this multimedia menu. It automatically selects PVR for you. Press the OK button, and then the menu will load up. You'll find all of your PVR recordings in this folder labeled HB PVR, so press the OK button to select that folder. Highlight the program you want to watch, press the OK button. It starts playing in this small preview window, and then press the hold button to full screen it. Be aware that recordings are not stored by their title, but by the date, time, and channel they were recorded on. This can make navigating your recordings list a little awkward. There's also a time shifting feature on this digital TV box that you can access when you have a USB drive plugged in. It allows you to pause and rewind live TV. On the blue side, you see the time that I've paused the live program, and on the red side is the current progress of the program playing in real time. To exit time shift mode, simply press the stop button on the remote control, and the program will return to real time. Those of you that live in TV markets that have channels that use MPEG4 video, if you've ever had a problem decoding those on older TVs, you'll know right away, because when you tune to that channel, the screen is dark with no picture, but you can still hear the sound on those channels. The cheapest way to solve that problem is to use a digital converter box like this. Almost all of these decode MPEG4 video. It's a lot cheaper than buying a whole new television. Seems like Mediasonic has made some very good improvements to this version of their digital converter box. I found the PVR recording functions to be smooth overall. The newly designed remote is much more responsive and easier to see and handle. And finally, the front display of the box with its functional buttons and channel display are also a welcome addition. If you're interested in buying one of these Mediasonic Homeworx digital TV boxes, I've placed a compensated affiliate link in the video's description.